Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina and this is Lifting Pins and Needles. Welcome to my channel where it's all about the sewing. Today's video is all about the Cindy jacket by StyleArc. Vivian from Stitches and Seams and I have been looking at this style for ages. We both love it. We like that it's a sort of jean jacket but with shaping, a bit more feminine features, you know, in comparison to your traditional more boxy denim style jacket. We both had the pattern and we decided to sew it together during the month, nice and slowly, and have it done to show you two different versions, my one and her one. So we've been friends for almost 2 years now. Shortly after I started my channel, we got in touch and we chat about life and sewing pretty much on a daily basis. When I say this was a collaboration, it was a collaboration as such. We were like going through the steps and how you're gonna do this, how you're gonna do that, and we of course made different decisions along the way according to our preferences, but the support was there. So it was a very, very good experience for me. I felt like I was sewing with my friend right there, although I'm in Brazil and she's in Texas, you know. I'm going to put here a photo of the thumbnail of her video that is also live today. And she made this amazing, amazing pink Cindy jacket. So please go over to her channel, show her some love, go and look at her version. It is amazing, it looks amazing on her, and it's such a good achievement to make a jacket like this, you know. So we are both very happy. If you don't know what the Cindy jacket is, it's a really awesome jacket. I will put some line art here from the website. As you can see, it's a fitted jacket with shaping, lots of panels on the front and back yoke, lots of top stitching. There's bust pockets and welt pockets on the side. There is a little cute optional ruffle around the collar, around the neckline. There are hem facings for the jacket and for the sleeves. You know, it's got a lot of cool features. One of the features I mostly like about this jacket, and it's not about the way it looks, but it's about the way it fits, is that it's got a two-piece sleeve. So a jacket with a two-piece sleeve is always going to sit so much better because it's going to take the shape of your arm, you know. I've made some blazers in the past that just have a one-piece sleeve and the fit is usually a step down, you know. So I like that that is included in this pattern. When I was preparing this video, I always do my research and see, you know, what I can tell you that's like updated information. And I saw that the welt pockets were optional, as was the neck ruffle. And I thought, oh, I just really wanted to get out of these pockets, you know, but Vivian did not let me get out of them. I did do them and I'm really happy with them. I'm glad I didn't read it was optional, because if I see that word there, I will take that word and take it and make it my own, you know. So the recommended fabrics are any stretch woven. They just mentioned there stretch denim, twill, anything that stretches basically. I had a hunt in my stash because I do have stretch wovens. The problem is most of them are printed, and I mean like houndstooth and things that are hard to match. And because of all the paneling and pieces, I did not want to do that to myself. Also, I'm always on the edge of buying the least amount of fabric possible, and when you want a pattern match, you need more. So I decided on a boring but very needed, and it's going to be very useful, brown cotton stretch sateen. So that is what I decided on. The sizing, as you know, is quite broad, from sizes 4 to 30 Australian sizing. So there's a big size range there. I checked for this specific pattern. There are only single sizes available, both for the printed and the PDF. Although for the PDF, you don't get a single size. You get the size you choose and the one above and the one below. The body measurements for the bust are 30.3 inches to 58.25 inches, and for the hips 32.6 inches to 61 inches. Now I chose the size 14. I know that is my size for StyleArc, so I just went and chose that size. Now in the up close and so personal, this will include my layout and how I cut everything out of 135 centimeters, some construction order of events, the way I chose to do this, all the pattern pieces and how they go together. I also added in my own second yoke piece to burrito that at the back, and you're going to see that there, and also how I decided to do my top stitching and why. So let's hop into up close and so personal. I want to show you my layout, and I've got the tape measure there so you can see that with 135 centimeters you can get every single pattern piece here. I managed to get every single thing. Now you see I've got pieces hanging here, and it's because they give you the whole part of the back, but there's a center mark there that I just put on the fold, you know. This piece also was the whole thing. I just folded it in half and put it on the fold. The same I did with the yoke. That piece there has been folded. I am not doing the pocket flap, like the little pocket that goes on the bust, so I can take that out, but if you were, it would still fit. Now I need to point out I'm doing 3/4 length sleeves. That is my preference for lengths of sleeves. So if you were to extend the full length, this is 15 centimeters. With 150 centimeters, you could have like the whole jacket. As soon as I cut out all the pattern pieces and marked my notches, I matched the notches with a pin there. The front part has 3 pieces there, as you can see, and then a little yoke on the top for each side. So there's 4 pieces per front side, and now when I have to sew, I don't have to think what goes where and all that. I already did it immediately. Here is the back of the jacket. There is a center back piece, quite a large piece, and then you have 2 laterals there that you match up with double notches here. So I've just pinned those together, and on the top there is a yoke. The sleeves have 2 pieces, and they also have notches there, double notches there to match up here. There's notches there for the sleeves and the center. Everything is clearly marked with chalk. I don't notch the fabric, I just like marking it with chalk. I also have a bunch of tiny pieces that all needed to be fused with interfacing. So I have the facings there for the front, the back facing, the back hem facing, the 2 front facings, hem facings, and then my pocket pieces there and my little welt piece over there. I have a partially constructed jacket. Before getting to this stage, I actually pinned every single pattern piece together and tried it on full of pins, just because I needed to check the fit. The fit is perfect, so I can just sew now. So far I've united the lateral pieces to the central piece of the back there. The yoke is still loose up there. I need to attach that. Now I needed to unite these first, serge them and top stitch them before I deal with the yoke. And I've been playing with finding a contrast yoke inside. It's not part of the pattern, but easily you just cut another yoke and then you burrito it. So I found that contrast fabric. It also needs to be stretch woven like this, and this is a very thin polyester that stretches. So it's just going to be for looks, but it's not going to add bulk or anything. So I'm going to do that burrito there. Now on the front pattern pieces, there are 3 there. So there are these 2 that need to be united together, serged and top stitched. And now I've got this partially pinned there, the top yoke there. Once I've sewn that, serged it, top stitched it, then I can go ahead and sew this central bit right there. So that is for both of these. I have already done the side seams, sewn them and serged them. And you can see the pockets are there. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to finish these edges there. So very easy, very quick to put together in spite of having so many pattern pieces. I know my color is dark and it might be difficult to see, but you might see my single row of top stitching there that I'm doing with a lighter shade of brown. On the front, I have attached this as I told you. You can see the single row of top stitching. I'm only doing 1 row of top stitching because these pattern pieces are curved here to give shape for the bust, so I don't think a double row will do any favors for the shape. So I've done that. I have attached the front yoke, serged it, top stitched it, and now I can do this piece there that's still pinned. Once I've sewn that, serged it, top stitched, my shoulder seam will be complete up there, and then I can mess with the yoke. I have finished all the bits on the front. I have top stitched everything, so that's all ready to go. I've done that on both sides, so now I am playing with the yoke. So I have my contrast yoke. This is the inside of my jacket, so you're looking at the wrong side. There you can see some stitching and stuff. So I have put my yoke piece right side to wrong side there, inside of the jacket. So when I finished this. This is how it's going to look inside, and that is going to enclose the seam there. And so I have the body of the jacket, the back piece. So that is my yoke. I've got these two right sides together, and this other yoke there. So both yoke pieces sandwiching this piece. So I'm just going to sew a straight line there, 3/8 seam allowance, and then that little seam will be tucked away in there. So this is just for looks, it's just for me. I'm still going to have raw edges around the neck. I'm still going to use the facing. Once I've done that, I'm going to sandwich these shoulder seams into there. I have sewn the yoke, and I have also done top stitching on it. You're looking at inside, and so what I've done for all the top stitching is on the bobbin I have a dark colored thread, just dark brown, so that is why you can't see the top stitching inside, and I'm using the top stitching thread only on the top to sandwich, you know, my shoulder seams within the yoke, so it's got a nice clean finish. What I'm going to do is, I've got right sides together there, the front and the back. I'm going to ignore my extra little yoke piece there, and I'm just going to pin these shoulder seams together. Okay, so that's pinned together. Now, you know, this yoke needs to come over, and when you actually sew it, this will be tucked in there. So that 3/8 seam allowance will be like that, and that is how it's going to be closed, you know. So I'm going to put my fingers in there, grab this. It's a little bit fiddly, but I'm going to grab that as if that's what I want sewn. So I've grabbed it there, and now I'm flipping this, and right there where my fingers are, I've never taken my fingers off because that is how I want this sewn, so I don't want to get confused. I am going to get these same pins that I used to unite the shoulder seam previously, and now just unite all the layers together like so. So I'm going to pin this and then go do my stitch on the sewing machine with a 3/8 seam allowance through the 3 layers, and then you're going to flip it all around, and magically you have burritoed your yoke, and the seam, the shoulder seam, will be nicely and neatly enclosed. So you can see it's a little bit weird looking, but this is what you sew, and that is it. I'm going to do the same to the other side. I've completed the construction of the main pieces, everything, and now I have to do one continuous stitch for all the facings. So I have pinned my facings here, the front. There is the facing for the back attached to the seam there that matches the yoke piece right there. I have serged the outer edges of all the facings, so that's already been done. And then down here at the bottom, I have sewn already a seam attaching the hem facing for the front. I have sewn that seam there at the side seam. There's a little facing there and there. And then at the back, all the facing also has been pinned. So basically, I'm just going to pick a random spot, probably the middle, the center back, and just start going down there, pivot there, around there, pivot there, around, pivot, up, pivot, finish. And then I'm going to clip the rounded areas there, turn around and understitch as much as I can. Okay, Ta-da! I know brown is just, you know, brown, but it's gonna go with so many things in my wardrobe, and I hope you can see some of the features. Top stitching, I only did a double row of top stitching on this piece there. So basically the first one was when I attached these to this, and the second one was to catch the facing at the back so it's not dangling around. The way I top stitch differs greatly from the diagram provided in the instructions. So I'm going to put that diagram there. That diagram is so good, like you can see, and like that just tells you everything. But I decided to top stitch a different way. So I basically did a single narrow top stitch with my edge full everywhere for every pattern piece, except for these center panels there. So you can see that at the back. Now I did continue top stitching that facing down here. I didn't want to continue double there, so I finished the double there. I could have cut the full length of the sleeve because I had 150 centimeters there, but I decided to chop it at 3/4 because it's my preferred for my weather as well. And I just did a normal hem. I didn't redraft the facing or anything like that, because after doing some project like this, you want to make things easier for yourself. At least I do. So let me turn this inside out and let me show you some of the things inside. Okay, so the construction was so much quicker and easier than I imagined. Here you can see inside that I have bound all the raw edges of the pockets with the same fabric I used for this. This is just for me, you know, it's just going to make me happy to look at the pockets that took me a while to make, you know. So that's how I finished that inside. Everything's been serged. It's all neat and tidy, and here you can see the facings that this jacket has. And the facings are important because the jacket does have like a curve at the back. I did hand hem the facing everywhere at the bottom. I didn't really want top stitching at my hem. Just personal preference, the way I wanted my jacket to look. I did run into some issues with the button holes. My machine did not like making buttonholes on this fabric. They worked out in the end. So I decided to put 5 buttons there because I only had 5 of these buttons. So these are just the ones that you sew on like that. And I love the color and that they're like brass colored. I don't know what they are, but I really like them. Okay, so I've moved over to a white wall. I was trying to show you my jacket with the brown closet behind me, and it was like I was camouflaging. So white wall. So here I have it buttoned up. You can see the fit is amazing. I love the shape. I did not make a single modification to this pattern. I did baste it before sewing it, and I realized very quickly that the fit was spot on. So yeah, it's amazing. This is where the 3/4 length hits for me, the length I chose, and I really like it there. I love this neckline. I didn't go with the ruffles. I don't ever wear a jacket buttoned up like this. That is silly. In my books, I always wear it open. So yeah, let's open it up. So yeah, that's how it's gonna look. I love the look. I like that it's not boxy and that it's got shaping. You know, it's amazing. The shoulders fit so well. The sleeves are super good where they have to be. And look at the shaping there at the back. See the shaping? Now, the shaping is from the jacket. I didn't do anything to achieve this. So just so in love with this, so in love with this. So I highly recommend this pattern. The fit is amazing. The instructions are very small, as you can probably know from this pattern company, but for me, it's totally worth it to still make the patterns. I showed you how I constructed it, so if you looked at this video and then did it yourself this way, you would totally be able to make it for sure. I'm gonna make this again. I'm scouring to find the right fabric. I would love to make it out of denim, like proper stretch denim. This fabric barely stretches. If I'm generous, it has a 10% stretch. I think a 20% stretch would be better. But I made what I had, you know. Please go and see Vivian's version. It's always interesting to see two people's point of view and their own take on the same project. You know, different choice of fabric, different choice of optional features. So it's really interesting. Please go and check it out. I will link her vlog down in the description box, you know. Okay, if you were thinking I was gonna not mention this welt pocket and like try to hide it from you, I'm not gonna try and hide it from you. There is my little welt pocket, you know, that's how it looks inside. And about this, I have filmed a separate tutorial on this type of single welt pocket using the pattern pieces from the Cindy jacket, and that will be up soon on the channel if you want to see my spin on the single welt pocket. I know there are a billion tutorials available, but you can choose to watch a different style and a different teaching style, basically, like my style of showing how. Try to make it as easy as possible, so look out for that. That is all I wanted to share. Thank you so much for watching. Please go and make a Cindy jacket. It's amazing. It is amazing. So, highly recommend. See you soon. Bye. Happy sewing.
It's a shame to watch us fade away, but all the beautiful things we made are great. I have tried to give you my life, but you can't see in the dead of the light. I'm alone, I'm scared, where'd you go? What can I do?